Now, listen to me. This is the question. Now, you know that this is COVID-19 time. Medical resources are stretched. In that context, I want you to play a doctor. Assume you are a doctor, okay? Now, 6 patients come to you together. 6 patients approach you together. One is in a critical stage, very critical stage. And the 5 others are better, but still sick. Now, if you attend to the critical one, you won't have the time to treat the other 5, and they all will die. If you treat the critical one, you won't have the time to treat the other 5, and then the critical one will die. The question is, you are a doctor, who will you choose? What will you choose? Let's start with Madhav. Did you hear the question? I repeat the question. You are a doctor. Medical resources are stretched. 6 patients comes to you together. 5 of them are ill. 1 of them is critically ill. If you treat 5, 1 will die. If you treat 1, 5 will die. Who will you choose?
All of them together.
No, you can't treat all of them. And this is, of course, it's a hypothetical question. So you have to make a choice. What choice would you make? 5, will you treat the critical one or 5 others and save them, or treat the critical one and save him or her?
The critical one.
And then let the other 5 die?
No, because the critical one condition is more poorer than the others.
No, I know, but the thing is this, at the end, this is what's going to happen. You have a very difficult choice, I agree. 5 people will die if you treat 1, and 1 person will die if you treat 5. What's your choice? And this is a choice sometimes people face. Come on, make a choice. You have 2 seconds to do that in real life. So what do you do? No, make a call. Make a call. I mean, yeah, we are never sure of these things. These are very, very difficult choices, and we are never sure of this. But we may have to make a choice. We do that. Less extreme cases in our life. So what do you do? What do you choose? Okay, never mind. I'm going to do a poll. Okay, how many of you will choose to treat the critical one and let the 5 die? You can do the thumbs up. How many will let 5 die and let 1 leave if you have to make a choice? If you agree, you have to do something, or this class fail immediately, because without this answer, I can't proceed.
I would save the 5 and let 1 critical person die.
Okay, what's your name? I can't see you.
Parvati.
Okay, Parvati. You think you will save 5, and
Yeah.
You have no choice but to let the person die. Okay. How many agrees with Parvati? Okay, so keep the hand up. I just want to see how many. Hand up if you agree with Parvati. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 4. Yeah. Including Parvati, yes, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6, 7 of you. 8. I see. Okay, now let me see the other side, because this is a bit too many. Who will let 5 people die and attend to the critical one? Show hands. Make some sound. Okay, Anamika thinks you will let 5 die and say 1, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'll do that because the person is really critical, but the others, they're just sick. I think I'll go with that.
No, but the point is, at the end of the day, they are going to die too. Okay, now all 5, okay, never mind. So that's your answer. So most of you, okay, those who think that they will save 5, put an A to their, whichever paper or pen they have with the paper on the paper in front of them. Those who will say, I will save 5, will put an A, and those who will say, I will say 1 instead, will put a B. Done? Okay, now I need to know a bit more about the reasoning why you will save 5. Parvati, why do you think you will save 5? Why?
It's a
okay.
more moral thing to do.
It's a more it's the right thing to do in the circumstance, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you? Yeah. So it's a more moral thing to do. Okay. Why is it so? Why is it more right than the other one?
The critical person, even if you save him, he might have some side effects and might still be a bit weak in the society, and he wouldn't do much good to the society. Would not be.
Oh wow. Okay, brilliant. I think you very interesting answer, because that's what some of the philosophers have told us over a period of time. Okay, but I won't go to that point yet. Now, anything to add? Those who support Parvati's view that 5 is better than 1, I think her view is because that 5 can do better or more good to the society than the 1, even if they survive, even he survives. Those who agree with Parvati and has another addition to make, how many of you, anyone, you want to make a addition to support Parvati's view? Okay, go ahead. You wanted to say something, right?
Yes. Because we can save 5 of them's life other than 1.
Okay, and why do you think that 5 lives are important than 1?
I just know that answer.
Okay, fine, fair enough. You know instinctively that 5 people saved feels better. Is it the case?
Yes. Absolutely correct.
Okay, all right. Okay, and then anybody else? Come on, we can do this. Anyone who supports Parvati, the same view, but for a different reason.
So it is always better to save 5 people than killing 5 people for 1 person.
We are not killing 5 people. We are letting them die because we are doing something else. But it's okay. I understand where you're coming from, Devika. Devika, right?
Personally treat. Yes, sir. I would personally treat the person who is ill rather than a person who is critical, because they have a critical person has a very poor condition, and anyway he might have a bad health even if we treat them. But
okay, I will take away that confusion out of it. I'm just going to put it straight. Critical person will die if not treated. Other people will also die if they are not treated. Okay, so there is no element of who survives or not. He will survive if you treat him, and these 5 people will survive for sure if you treat them. So there is no element of confusion there. It's a matter of choice. You have 5 people in front of you, and then 1 person on the other side.
We are gonna always save a larger society rather than a single person. That's what a doctor would always do.
No, you
unless
are a
and
doctor,
until that 1 person is really important to you, that you risk the other 5 people's life. It's always the 5 people. That's what a good doctor would do.
Well, let's figure out what a good doctor would do. But yes, I see I see your point. Yes, 5 is better than 1. It sounds better. Okay, now basically, I think from what you have said, I conclude that somehow saving 5 people is better than 1. Parvati gives a reason. That is because the 5, once they survive, will be of better good to the society. Is the more concrete reason given for that. The consequence of that particular act of saving 5 is better for the society. Okay, now I give you another scenario. Okay, this scenario says this: you are a surgeon or doctor. Yes, you have 5 patients aged 30, waiting for an organ transplant. Okay, 1 needs a liver, 1 needs a kidney, 1 needs a heart, 1 needs a pancreas, 1 needs something else, lung. Yeah, they will soon die if the appropriate organ is not immediately transplanted to them. Understood? 5 patients, you are the transplant surgeon, waiting for a donor, no donor is coming, all age 30, who have a lot of time left in their life, if they survive, waiting for an organ transplant, they will die soon, very soon, if an appropriate organ is not immediately transplanted. Then suddenly, in the other consulting room, another person comes, 65-year-old, very good medical condition, okay, comes to you for a minor surgery to fix a broken hand. No big deal at all, just do an x-ray, fix it, go home. It's even a daycare thing. You just stay maybe one day in the hospital. Now, the question is, we all thought letting or saving 5 people is better than saving 1 person, right? Now, will you let this 65-year-old die, deliberately let the 65-year-old die, so that you can use his organs to be donated to these 5 people and make them survive? Because of course, 65-year-old, I mean, we are looking at that principle of you have a bigger good to the society. Think about a 65-year-old, average, life count, 80 at the maximum. Here you have 65-year-old, good medical condition, but the maximum of 15 years more. Then you have a person with 5 people, 30-year-olds. Once the organ is transplanted, let's suppose they will survive for 50 years each. That's 250 years of goodness to the society. Will you let that person, broken person, die and save the 5?
No.
Okay, why, Pavadi? Why? 5 is
I
always
think as
good,
a
isn't
doctor,
it?
you take an oath not to hurt someone to save someone else.
Yeah, but were you not hurting somebody you were hurting that critically ill person when you tried to help 5 non-critical people.
But he was
When he
already.
thought, yeah, but I mean, look, yeah, he has broken his hand too, this guy. Aksa, what do you think?
I would save the old man rather than helping the 5 people.
Okay, you have been consistent, right? Last time also you said you were going for the first 1 person, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. But any other takes? Pavadi, you think that now this may not be the right thing to do? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, as a doctor, I think that will be the right thing to do.
Okay, Rijo, change of opinion. Madhav, Raju, Ivano, everybody should come in. I mean, these are questions with an answer. I'm just asking yes or no, or make a choice.
I will save the 5 people's life.
Who is this speaking?
Michelle.
Michelle. Okay. Michelle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you do?
I will save the 5 people's life with the permission of the old man if I can take his organs.
Okay, with the consent you will take. But what if he objects?
He will object.
Well, I will tell him what are the better options. Like if he does it, what are the good benefits of it?
Mm-hmm. You think you can convince him?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm sure there are good people like that too. But in the first case, what would you have done? 5 or 1?
Definitely 5.
5. And would you take consent from the 1?
Most probably no.
Okay, all right. Now this is a teaser. I'm not going to proceed with this class. This is the moral dilemmas which we face, and this is law is all about. I mean, when you talk about law, L-A-W, I spell it. I mean, say it wrongly all the time. Law. Okay. When you talk about law, you are talking about some principles set out in our constitution, in our statutes. The rule book, the penal code says so. There are a lot of provisions of legal provisions all around us, mostly written. Those are legal principles. Those are what we call law. What we just discussed now is philosophy. philosophy called justice. You think justice is doing the right thing. What is the right thing? We don't know. That is the problem sometimes justice face. I don't have an answer for those. I don't know whether I will even act consistently as somebody did. Aksa or Anamika, somebody was consistently B, but Pavadi was A and then B. These moral dilemmas is what make study of law and philosophy very interesting. Now, this is a teaser for my next class. Now, I come back to the class which I am supposed to take, which is on punishment, understanding punishment. Okay, first of all, I have to let you know that this is not to train you in law, but to provide you with an insight into the working of law. Okay, as I said, it's about the philosophy of law and even justice. Philosophy of law, the name is jurisprudence. You don't need to remember it, but there is a philosophy of law is called jurisprudence. And of course, the study of law is jurisprudence. And then there is a philosophy behind the jurisprudence as well. Now, the scope of this class is limited. This is my disclaimer clause, okay? Scope is limited. My analogies, which I use, may be loose, and the terms may be slightly less accurate. I'm not going to stick to the strict rules of, the terms, but this is adequate for our purpose because we just want to understand the concept. And hopefully, I will trigger some interest in you to study law. We need good lawyers, and I think you are all good people from the face. Okay, I hope that's right. Anyway, now specifically in this class and the next class, as the case may be, I'm going to talk to you about punishment. What exactly is punishment in a legal context? And then I'm going to talk to you about what makes an act a punishment. You just can't go and hit somebody and say this is your punishment. So what makes an act a punishment is the next question. And then I would ask another question, why do we punish? Why bother punishing people? So that's another question which I will try to answer. Then I also will take you through the types of punishment and who should punish who. And of course, then the real life examples. Real life examples, I must apologize ahead that you may not relate to those actual events, but you will know enough to make a call, okay? Now, moving to the class proper, I'm going to show you a slide, share a screen. Now, these are premises on which I'm going to build my class. So just assume that I'm right when I say this. We don't need to dispute that because these are universal truths. We, you, I, everybody else are individuals, no doubt about it. Then collectively, we become a society. I mean, we can call ourselves a society, just few of us can be a society technically. But normally when we talk about a society, we talk about a country, a bigger unit of people, I mean, for the purposes of law. And then you must know that they interact on a regular basis. Smaller societies interact directly with each other on a regular basis. Larger societies like big country, you don't directly interact with somebody in UP or Bihar or Gujarat, but you indirectly interact with them. Maybe they are the ones who are making the toys here. Okay, so when you, in smaller units like societies like this, we can interact together. I am interacting with you. You will be interacting with your banker. You go to the bank, withdraw the cash, you may end up talking to that person. You may go to a shop, you buy stuff, you are interacting with people. But sometimes interaction may not be direct. So you may not be interacting with the person directly in, say, Gujarat, but he may be making things which you may need. So in a way, there is a direct interaction. So, but we can't let interaction go the way it wants to go because all individuals are different. We have different expectations. We have different style of approaches. See, when I asked that question, you had different opinions. Not everybody agreed. So those opinions in real life, different opinions as to fundamental things may create issues. So we want to manage it. We want to regulate the behavior, the interaction of people. Hence, we have something called law. In a simple, I think it's a bit simplistic in the sense it's oversimplified, but put it very, very briefly, law is that, it regulates your behavior as well as your interaction with your fellow individuals. Just understand that bit. I mean, that's a universal truth. Now, Kuwait is in lockdown, right? Is that right? Aksa, Rachel, is it lockdown?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now in Kerala, I don't know how good, how wonderfully law-abiding are the Kuwaiti people and the people who lives in Kuwait are, but Kerala, I must say that they are not that good. So since the lockdown was announced, we have almost tens of thousands of cases of people going out for unnecessary things, just to see what's happening, just to see what others are doing. See, so they break the law. When everybody knows that it's not the right thing to do, it's not like an alien or remote law. We know that you can't do that because it's going to hurt you. If you get out during the lockdown and if you contract COVID, it's not going to help you or anyone still you break the law. So this tendency, I don't know whether people are inherently against law or for law. That's not our point of discussion, but people tend to break law. People tend to break law. And that if we allow that, there will be lawlessness and you don't know what to expect. Somebody is going to come and beat you up and then you don't know what you do, or you go back and kill them, which is not a great thing for the society, obviously. So we have something called punishment. We punish. I mean, not just beating, beating is almost outdated punishment. So we punish them so that they are scared to some extent, or it's a way to enforce the laws we have. Okay, that's the premise. Now back to something we already know. All belong to some school, except one who took TC and is now schoolless in a technical sense, right? Who is that person? Come on, somebody said so.
Yeah,
Who is that?
Ivano.
Ivano, okay. Except for Ivano, we all belong to school. Even Ivano belonged to one school just before the TC and is going to belong to some other school after a few days or weeks. Okay, now you know what a school is. School, take it as a society. Okay, take it as a society. And now I want you to tell me in the chat is fine. What do you do? What are the common wrongs you commit in a school? What are the common wrongs you do in your school? The mistakes or whatever you call it. Yeah, what do you do?
Don't do homework.
Okay, I take that. Then is
Bunking
that the worst thing you do? Bunking classes. That sounds interesting. Yes. And then come on. I suddenly feel, you have some very solid answers for that. Yes.
lying. Yes.
Sorry? Misbehaving.
Copying.
Yes. Copying. Yes. Yeah, I know. We are now sharing our personal experiences too, right? No, just joking. I know you're good people and you won't break law. But stealing petty things with like pencils, yes. Bigger. I won't tell anybody. I promise you, because I don't know your teachers anyway. So
Sleeping during classes.
Sleeping during classes, that's a bit light. We all do. Please don't sleep during this class. And if you're doing that, please mute your video. Huh? Come on, bigger ones. I mean, maybe not in your school. Okay, if that helps you, maybe in another school nearby, where the boys and girls are bad. What do they do?
Fighting.
Fighting, yes, fighting.
Breaking school property.
Brilliant. Now, leave something for me to say. My list is, I'm just ticking off my list. Yes. Anything a bit more severe than that?
Carrying electronic gadgets.
Yeah.
Playing with electronic gadgets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullying. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I hear that too. And then anyone, I mean, I know you're, sorry?
Saying bad words.
Okay. Can you try one? No. Okay.
Pranking on
Sorry?
pranking on teachers.
I didn't get the first word. What is it?
Pranking, like.
Okay, what is the
Like-
word? I don't know the meaning of that word. Sorry.
You just
Pranking
fool
as in
around.
like fool around. Yeah. Teasing the
Fool around.
teachers? Is that?
Yeah. Kind of.
Okay, okay. Sorry,
Annoying.
you know that, we live in Kerala, English is limited. Now, anyone tobacco drinks? Not you, but things which you are aware of.
Yes, there is a drug use.
No.
Yes. Drug abuse cases as well in some schools, right? Okay, fine. Now, to sum up quickly, you're suggesting, you've been very active on this question. Some people do it's common mistakes, common wrongs which we do in a typical school are you forget to do your homework, you bully people, you do some fighting, fist fighting, hopefully not gun or knife. You do the plagiarism. You destroy property of the belonging to somebody else, a school. You steal sometimes, and you smoke or abuse drugs. Not you as in you, but in general. Yeah. Okay. Now, what are the punishments? Forget about the wrongs for a while. Huh? Now, what are the punishments teachers or schools mete out for that?
Dismissal.
Suspension.
Okay.
Suspension,
Start.
dismiss.
Suspension. Yeah.
Dismiss.
Then
Warning letters.
dismissal.
Warning letters.
What? Okay, I'm writing down warning, suspension, dismissal. Then
Sometimes TCs.
Hello.
yeah, dismissal, right?
Morning.
Then standing out of the class.
Hello.
Okay, you're right. Standing out of the class.
Yes, tell me.
And writing on a paper you won't do it again.
Okay. So okay, fine. Okay.
Small
Diary
experiment.
note.
Diary note. Okay. What do they say? Your kid is behaving improperly in school or not doing the work. Is that what they say? Right?
Yes, sir.
What is misbehaving?
Okay. I have my okay. I can't. Okay. No, you should tell nobody. When I was in the 9th standard, there was a note which was nastier than that, which I thought I just made a sound in school, sound in the class. Everybody made, it's just that I got caught. And then he wrote it down, and I was so optimistic that I thought I would be able to persuade the teacher to take it back and not show my parents, which I did. I managed to persuade the teacher, which I still remember. He's now a father, as in like a Christian priest. And he said, okay, let it be there, but I'm not going to press for a signature. That brings back a great experience from the diary times. Okay. Now, you reprimand, I suppose, that expulsion. And of course, when it comes to drug abuse, then it may not stop even at the expulsion. It may go to a police complaint, right? I mean, teachers are expected to do that. Hopefully, they don't want to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have two things, right? We have identified wrongs which are commonly committed in schools, and then we also have identified the common punishments meted out by the respective schools or authorities or teachers or principal or whoever it is. Now, let me ask you another question. The question is, why do you think they punish you? Why do you think they punish you?
For us to learn our mistake.
So
Learn
to
from
improve
our
our mistake, like to not do the mistakes again.
Okay, one by one. Learn from the mistake, right? Okay, then the second one?
Do not repeat the mistake again.
Okay, then? Do you think
Know
somebody
what?
will do just because they don't like your face?
No.
Okay, mostly no, right? Okay, I'm sure there are more reasons for that, isn't it? Think hard. Or do you leave it to the teachers? They are the one punishing ones. Let them think about the reasons, right? No,
Yeah.
I want you to think, I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it, okay?
So that we can pass on the same thing to our society or the next generation.
Sorry, I just explain. I mean, you're right. I understand where you're coming from, but just for the sake of the whole class, explain a bit more. Take it.
Like, imagine you were caught doing something bad in the class. Now they will they'll punish you for that. So that you know that for your next generation, you will tell them not to do this, so that they will also learn it from their experience, like learn it the tough way or something.
Teachers punish you so that others learn from that too, right?
To prevent bad influence on juniors.
Okay, so that is the point I think Rochelle made as well.
Yeah.
Basically saying teachers punish you because they want to set an example for others around you. Okay, another? I want more. Okay, let's come back to this again. I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to come back to this point again. And oh, okay. I don't see that. There should be good, peaceful life. Peaceful life. Experience in life.
Building a 32.
Sorry. Now let me just quickly move on to. It's something which we have already discussed about, right? We discussed about wrong punishment. Now, from what we have discussed, we tried to come up with some reasons why people punish. Okay, we understood that, and there are some reasons you have given, and let's talk about it a bit later. Before that, I want to know what you think a punishment is. What are the features of punishment? You know, what makes an act of punishment? Any idea? Oh, I mean, I'm sure you have some idea. So, you know, basically what I'm asking you to think is, if I do something, it may qualify as a punishment. And what is that thing? You know, I can't go and hit. No, okay. Ivano cannot go and hit Aksa and say, oh, this is my punishment. Can you do that, Danny? Can you mute? Oh, okay. You want to talk, right?
No, sir.
Okay, then mute, please. Okay. Now, do you think that's punishment? Ivano just goes and hit Aksa and says, look, it's just punishment. Can you say that?
No, sir. It's not a punishment.
Okay. Why?
Because she's doing it on purpose.
Oh, punishment is always done on purpose. Teachers do it on purpose because we discussed the purpose just now.
Then there's no reason behind Ivano hitting Aksa simply.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is no reason. Okay, so that's fine. And then what else do you see?
And she doesn't feel regret because she didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, there is no reason. Yeah, nothing wrong done. So why are you punishing me, right?
Yeah.
And then Aksa might take revenge on Ivano for that.
So that would lead to chaos.
A fight.
Lawlessness. Yeah, fight. Okay. So you're saying that, yeah, the consequence of an act which does not qualify as proper punishment is going to cause lawlessness later on. Yes, but that's fine. That's the consequence. But I want to know what makes an act a punishment. Reason, no reason. You can't punish without reason. I know that. Ivano cannot go and hit Aksa and claim it's a punishment. Okay, I'm going to help you with that because that's slightly complicated because I'm looking for some answers which, you know, not necessarily which you are thinking. So I'm going to share the screen and tell you something, okay?
Yes,
okay. Now, I'm going to tell you the features of punishment. First, it's an undesirable consequence. Nobody wants to be punished. Do you?
No, sir.
Well, I hope nobody wants to be punished. So it's an undesirable consequence. You know, I don't want to be beaten up. I don't want to be expelled. I don't want to be suspended. I don't want to stand on the bench or out of the class. So nobody wants to be punished. So basically that would mean that it's an undesirable consequence invariably. I'm going to digress now to tell you a story. Not a great storyteller I am, but I'll attempt a great story for you. Have you heard of Jeffrey Archer? Anyone? I'm sure you should, you know. You should start reading him. Not even for the story, but for his English. Great. Anybody? No, okay. Start reading him. Start with his short stories. I sell his books without any commission, you know. I sell his books every class which I go to take. Okay, Jeffrey Archer has written a story called "It Can't Be in October Already." I'll try to summarize the story. I haven't done for a while, so I may be not that articulate. But here is this man. He's homeless in UK, in England. He will die because it's too cold. Of course, there are comorbidities. I'm sure you have heard this word comorbidities, which means that you have an existing medical condition like diabetes or blood pressure or something else. So when you have that, and when the weather gets very, very cold and you don't have proper heating, people tend to die. And definitely there is a statistics to prove that in UK during winter, which is December to, okay, it starts in October and then, you know, until February or even March. So during that period, people die. So this man will find a way to get punished. He will find a law which he will break, which he wants to break, so that he can go to jail. So basically, he will throw a stone at a windowsill, break it, and the punishment would be about 3 to 4 months or 6 months. So he does it every single October. And then he goes to the magistrate. Police officers know what he's going to do. And then he will go to a magistrate. Magistrate will say, oh, yes, back again. Okay, you go to jail for 6 months. And then this quick exclamation comes from a police officer who just comes to, who just come across a crime committed, a petty crime committed by this guy, saying, oh, is it October already? Somebody is already in the police station to be charged, ready to go to jail. So that's an exception to what I'm talking about, but not many punishments are like that. Nobody wants punishment. Okay. All right, now I move on to the next feature, which I think is appropriate authority. I think it's quite an easy one for you because you know that why Aksa cannot hit Ivano or the other way is because Ivano is, or Aksa as the case may be, is not the appropriate authority. You can't get punished by your colleagues, even if you do a wrong. Okay, even if you do a wrong, say you didn't do your homework. Say let's find somebody else. Okay, Kesia didn't do her homework. Okay, I know she won't ever come to class without doing it, but then just assume that she did not do her homework. Rishel says, stand up, I'm going to hit you because you didn't do the homework. So you have a reason to hit her. But is that sufficient, Rishel?
No.
Okay, why is that?
Because I'm not the right person to judge her.
Okay, I mean, the answer came before your answer, but yes, you are not the appropriate authority. Sometimes it will be punished by your teacher who is teaching at that point in time, sometimes by your class teacher, sometimes by your principal, or sometimes by the board of directors or whichever, sometimes with the police if you do crimes. Okay, so the point is, for an act to be punishment, it has to come from an appropriate authority. I guess easy to agree on that. And then that is, and then there is another thing which you pointed out when I talked about Ivano and Aksa. You said there is no reason. You know, there is no reason to punish, which means there should be a direct connection between the supposed or alleged wrongdoing and the alleged punishment. So there should be a connection. So what you said is correct. I mean, you're just answering the questions before I even attempt to answer, basically saying that there should be a direct connection between the punishment as well as between the punishment and the mistake committed. Obvious, but I'm just restating for you. Okay. Now, Milin Mary did not do her homework. Avani, what would be your punishment if you were a teacher? Never mind.
Work twice or thrice, because that is teachers in our school will be giving us.
No, your teachers in your school doesn't matter to you. You are the teacher. Wonderful teacher, I'm sure you make. What is the punishment you will mete out?
Repeating the homework twice. I don't
Okay.
think that particular person will
Okay.
forget the exam.
Will you consider a suspension? Bad example, you don't want to set a bad example, you just want to punish aggressively. Will you consider done, the proof is there in your notebook, or proof is not in your notebook that you have done the work. So it's quite easy. But in any case, there is an identification, there's a process which starts with they will investigate, explicitly or otherwise. Is there a wrong committed? Who did the wrong? Why? Maybe some circumstances led to that wrong, did it? Or if not, what should be the punishment given? And then punishment is given. So what my point is simple. For an act to be a punishment, it has to be considered, and it's a considered act. You can't just do it. So that is called due process. That's the fifth point which I want to tell you. And okay, these are the features I want to share with you. Okay, for now, are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
You understand what you understand what I'm talking about,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, good. Now we are moving on to the purpose of punishment. Remember, we talked about why you think teachers punish, right? I'm going to finish very soon because I suddenly I don't feel a bit that great. Okay, so I will definitely continue in the next class, but we are going to go for another 10 minutes max. Huh? So the question is this: we identified a few ways we identified certain reasons why we think people punish you. Understood? I mean, we did discuss, right? And some of you said because teachers want you to learn from the mistake. Another person said to be an example for others so that they don't repeat the thing. Then you also said so that the mistake is not repeated by yourself. Okay, so two things. One, you are punished because they want you not to repeat the mistake. And secondly, others don't want to repeat the mistake. Then there is a lesson for life. It also is good for the peaceful existence of the whole school. So these are the lessons given. Now I'm going to take you through what the philosophers have thought about this. Don't be afraid of philosophers. If I can understand what they say, you can understand too. It's as simple as that. It's just that some of them write in very complex English because that's not their strength. Their strength is philosophy, thinking. So sometimes we get a feeling that philosophy is something which we have to stay far away. Same with law. A lot of people think lawyers are disgusting people because they talk things which nobody understands. In a way, it's right because some of the things are with we don't say it directly. Maybe because we want to make money. Because if everybody knows law, then how do we make money? No, that's not the reason. But traditionally, we are taught in a slightly different way. But although universally, globally, there is a trend of plain English coming back. Same with the philosophy. Okay, when you hear the word philosophy, jurisprudence, oh wow, so pompous. It doesn't really mean anything. It is simple facts. I mean, if you can understand the history of science, you can understand physics and chemistry, which I never been able to understand. You will be able to understand philosophy as well. So now, people have been thinking about this thing for ages. Why do we punish? Why should we punish? Those are two questions, two different questions in a way. Why do we punish? That's more, a passive thing. Why do we punish? Just thinking about what we did. And the second is more active thinking, which is why do we punish? Why do we have to punish? So there are two aspects to it, which is too fine. You don't need to bother about that. So the question is, they have been the point is that they have been thinking about this for a very long time, and they have come up with a lot of explanations for that. Some of the explanations include what you said. Okay, I will go one by one to it. Okay, the important thing to note is there are a lot of philosophies behind this. I'm going to introduce to you 4 major theories of punishment, which is the 4 major purposes of punishment. because you don't need to know all of those. There are about 8 or 9 which I am aware of, but some are overlapping, some are almost the same but said in a different way. Even these 4 are not really separate from each other. They also overlap. Okay, let's go and see what I'm trying to talk about. This is one kind of punishment where the punisher, the one who punishes, think that the wrongdoer should pay for what he did. You came and beat me, or somebody killed somebody, okay? And my reasoning is this: oh, he did kill somebody, so he has to pay for what he did. He deserves to be punished. Of course, proportionally to the extent of the wrongdoing. Fair enough, right? I mean, look, you killed somebody, you deserve to be punished. That's the logic people think is sufficient to justify punishment. The same people think, have you heard of this eye for an eye thing?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, there is a biblical base to it. At the time of Moses, I think this is a prevalent law. But eye for an eye is not as bad as it looks, honestly. It looks like, oh, wow, he wants eye for an eye, which is brutal, sounds brutal. But apparently, some historians explain that this is about proportionality. You cannot have 2 eyes for 1 eye, or maybe leg for an eye, or kill the person for an eye. So if you look at it from that angle, you see that, oh, okay, it's just an eye for an eye. You can see that, I hope. This comes from the lex talionis, which is one of those one of the first written codes. Now, the same people who think that the wrongdoer should pay for the punishment, for the crime he committed, that he deserves to be punished, think that first of all, punishment should deal with the crime. Wrong has been done, let's deal with the wrong, nothing more. Okay, maybe a bit confusing, but when I talk about the next ones, you may understand it better. It stops there. You did a wrong, I'm punishing you. And why do I punish you? Because you did the wrong. Very simple logic. I have no other intentions. I just want to punish you. Why do I punish you? You did a wrong. Okay, so wrongdoer should be punished. That's the philosophy here. So the focus of these kind of thought process is to inflict pain. I told you about undesirable consequence. So it's a pain. Undesirable consequence is a pain, generally speaking. So, I want to punish you because I want to inflict pain because you deserve it. That is the thought process of these people. Okay. And then, so I said first, there is a group of people who believes punishment is about punishing a wrong. You did a wrong, I come and punish you. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay. Now, the focus, of course, you can see is you did wrong. I want to inflict a pain on you, a pain, an inconvenience, an undesirable consequence on you. That's the reason why I want to punish you. Okay. And now then we move on to the other one. Somebody mentioned when I asked the question that, when there is no reason to punish, the person who is punished may come back and hit you. Right? A similar logical extension that everybody feels aggrieved. I'm hit, I'm angry. Why am I hit? Or why am I killed or murdered? I mean, my parents will feel the pain of me being murdered by somebody else. I hope. Yeah, they do, I think. So if law or the state or the authority fails to punish that person, what happens? Okay, let's give real examples. Okay, now I'm going to call upon Parvati. Parvati, yeah. One of your close friends. Who is your close friend here? One of your close friends. You don't need to name your bestie. Yeah. You're struggling.
Should I name my bestie?
No, well, if she or he is around, yes, please. Yes.
I have friends here, Abhiram,
Yeah.
Avin.
Okay. Friends as in like you like them, right?
No, we are family friends.
You don't like them?
No, I like them, of course.
Okay. All right. So, okay. No, I need to like I need you to name somebody who you really like. Well, never mind. Forget it.
Okay.
Sister. You have a sister? You have a brother?
Yeah.
Okay. Sister. What's her name?
Aparna Shine.
Okay. Aparna. Somebody did something bad to Aparna. Okay. We are assuming things. Okay. It's a story. Somebody real bad to Aparna. And then the police comes, investigates, and that person who did something very bad to Aparna is being arrested. Maybe he's murdered, or he's hung, or even imprisoned for life, something like that. Okay, one scenario. In the second scenario, police does nothing. He doesn't really care. What will you feel?
No, angry, of course.
Very angry. And will you consider something more?
I wouldn't kill him, but then I really want him to be brought to justice.
Yes. Otherwise, you will feel aggrieved, right? Will be very, very, very angry, depending on the crime committed. Okay, so that is not abnormal. Everybody feels that. We have an instinct for revenge when something happens to us or to our dear ones, or even our, even less dear ones. We feel a crime is committed. There is a sense of revenge, which is a very unsophisticated word, but still, there is a sense of revenge. So the people who think like the people who have been thinking like this, this group of people thinks, if that instinct of revenge is not gratified, if it's not fulfilled, and if the state doesn't step in and say, look, I am in charge, I'm going to punish that whoever who committed the crime, him or her, then suddenly you feel justice is there, so you may not take law into your hands. We have seen so many examples over the history that people have taken law into their hands because they feel that justice was not granted. Okay, so their logic is this, otherwise the individuals may take justice into their own hands. Okay, so some people think this is why punishment is. One, he deserves punishment. He did something wrong, he deserves punishment. Two, if he is not punished, then he may take law into their hands. Okay, that's the reasoning given. And let's give a name to that. It's called retribution. Retribution, the word meaning is just revenge, right? In a nice way. Or do you have any better explanation?
Tit for tat.
Okay. Yeah, same. Eye for an eye, same thing. Yeah, well, more than that actually. Eye for an eye may be a different thing. Retribution, yes, it's a revenge in a very sophisticated way. So basically, you do something wrong, you have to suffer from it. I will punish you. So it's a retribution. I can't come up with the right word for that, but retribution is the term which we use to describe this kind of thought process. This is something I want you to write down. Not because you have to take it away, and learn it by heart or anything, but this is something which we are going to apply in the next class. Apply in real life situation where I will be inviting you not to become a doctor, but to be a judge. Okay, so that is the situation. So you must take note of this. What retribution says, what is this retribution all about? Okay, I will do one more theory of punishment before we stop. Another group of people think like most of you, because you gave these reasons already. One is, the punishment or knowledge of punishment. The fact that somebody will be punished or somebody is punished will instill a fear of undesirable consequence. Oh, that person is punished. You said something like punishment is to learn from the mistake and also to stop others from doing it. This is exactly what these people are saying in a different language, the same language in a different way. Punishment or knowledge of punishment will instill a fear of punishment. This will discourage people. I see a yawn there. Yeah, I will definitely stop very soon. It will therefore discourage people from committing a crime. So that's what they are saying. They are saying they don't care, whether this guy should be punished, whether the revenge has to be performed on him. What they say is that if you punish, people will be scared to repeat. Not only the person who is punished, but also, say in your case, juniors or the people around you will see this punishment and say, okay, I'm not going to do this because I'm going to be punished. This is what these people say. And then it will stop them, deter them from repeating the wrongs. This is what I said. Generally, sometimes it stops when you see a punishment, it stops you from repeating it. When you are punished, it stops you from repeating it because you are scared of the punishment. And it also stops from people who seeing you punished from committing the crimes as well, because you know that, oh, this guy is going to punish me too. I mean, or the authority is going to punish me too. So therefore, I don't want to commit the crime. So these people think that way. Severity of punishment. Somebody mentioned when I asked the question. Hello?
Hello?
Sadish, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody asked this question. We discussed the severity of punishment. We said there should be a direct reason why a certain punishment has to be given to a certain person. You cannot, throw somebody out of the school just for not. Okay, so the punished person as well as the people who sees the punishment is called deterrence. That's just another name, you have to put it together. Okay, I will take questions, but I'm going to stop the class now. I suddenly have a bad headache. So I'm going to stop the class now. I know that time has exceeded anyway. I will continue in next week, I think, but I will take questions on any of those things which I've taught so far.
Sir.
Yeah.
Are you taking class from Kuwait, or where are you taking class? In which part of the country?
Kerala. No, not your
Kerala.
country. I'm Kerala, from Kerala. I'm from Thrissur.
Just for
Very
knowing.
close to my. Hello.
Just for knowing, I just asked.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You should know who are teaching you.